I would like to thank the parents, all 8 of them. The biological parents for making this union possible, and the step-parents for adding extra love and awesomeness to this family occasion. So, if everybody could give a round of applause for the parents. Of course, I would also like to thank all of you for coming here to show your love and enthusiasm for Nick and Nicole on their very special day. So, if you guys could give a round of applause to these two also. Nicole, I want to start by saying you look really beautiful today. And I'm happy to have you as my sister-in-law because, you know, I'll get myself. I'm just really looking forward to our family gatherings, you know, where you bring over my nephew Joey, my niece Ava, and your amazing stuffed mushrooms. So, I'm really looking forward to that. And about 3 weeks ago at Nick's bachelor party, I got to experience something that you're going to have to deal with for the rest of your life. Sleeping next to Nick. And what an experience that was. Because I woke up at about 4 a.m. with an arm draped across my face. And Nick's body was contorted. And I looked over and I realized, oh, Nick spells his name with his body in his sleep. So I was really quick to push him over before he got to the letter H. Because I knew I would have gone flying off the bed. So, yeah, but not to worry. That was probably the craziest part of the bachelor party, next to hamburgers and Jose Tejas, so yeah, not to worry about. But speaking of food, though, about a month ago or so, I was at Nick and Nicole's, and I was hungry and hadn't eaten anything, and I was gonna go out for a slice of pizza, but Nicole's like, no, just eat here. I have surf and turf in the fridge, and I was just like, wow, who just keeps surf and turf in their fridge? That's just amazing. Like, if I had surf and turf in my fridge, I definitely wouldn't share it with anybody here. So, I mean, it was really nice of her to share that with me. And, that restaurant metaphor, Nick really found the greatest one on the menu. So, I'm just glad to have you in my family and glad that we're sharing the same last name now. So, all right, but now to Nick. So, I knew that organizing this speech would be a really tremendous task because I've known Nick for 24 years and we're 22 months apart, so basically we've done everything together. So, I have a whole lifetime to choose from. So, but as Nick's best man, I think it's my job to teach you guys something about him aside from his crazy sleeping mannerisms. So, but for those of you just getting to know Nick, you probably just noticed that he's always got a smile on his face, like he's got a joke running around in his head. But those of you who know him more intimately, you've probably seen his ass before. So I think that's how we can separate the two. People who see Nick's ass and people who have not. So, yeah. But also, being Nick's brother gives me access to the Brother Vault, which contains all the wonderful, hilarious, obscene, and outrageously vile things that Nick has done in his life. So I'm going to open that vault and share some of that with you. So here we go. Like a good older brother, Nick walked me to the bus stop when we traveled to elementary school together. At the dinner table, we struggled through mandatory glasses of V8 juice, and we also survived Mom's experiments to microwave eggs for dinner. So, yeah. On the eve of my dad's knee surgery, we broke his recovery bed practicing signature WWF moves, so that was a pretty wonderful event. But I think one of the most defining parts of our brotherhood is that for the last 19 years, we've done martial arts together through a wide variety of schools. So that's like one hobby that we share together. But when we were out of the school, we fought like most siblings, but our fights weren't like typical brother fights because it was usually a poor third-party bystander that caught the brunt of our force. It was usually, bad for them. Like, for example, when we were kids, I got really annoyed at Nick and I threw a VHS tape at him. But he ducked, so the tape continued to soar and it hit my dad, who was napping peacefully in a bed nearby. So Nick won that battle, but, I would get my revenge. I knew I would. And 6 years later in Cape May, I got my revenge. And for those of you who don't know much about Cape May, it is arguably the most boring place to bring teenage boys. I mean, the only kind of stores they have in the town square are the kind that women over 70 like to shop in. You know, the stores that sell candle holders, 18th century Victorian rugs, and other old lady treasures. So you kind of get an idea of how bored we were. So the only outlet was for me to start stepping on the back of his sneaker. And by the fourth one, he got visibly pissed, and he said, "Vin, if you do another one, I'm gonna kick your ass." So, you know, I knew he was bored, so I figured the warning was sincere, and I stopped. But I guess the enjoyable part goes when we got to a convenience store. I hear Nick yell, "Vin, I told you to stop."
Oh no!
And I looked over just in time to capture one of the greatest Kodak-worthy moments. Nick executed a perfect back kick right into the shin of an old lady who immediately cried out in pain. So for the next 20 seconds, I got to enjoy the look of horror on Nick's face, his sheepish apology, and his awkward attempt to try to explain the situation to the poor lady. Like, "Oh, my brother was It was perfect. I guess for the ending part of my toast, I want to show everyone my awesome brother badge, which will get me out of most of my legal troubles that I will probably run into. But in addition to those, if I'm ever stuck in a personal rut, I know I can count on my brother to call me 3 times a day to check up on me. You know, Nick is an active individual, and he inspires others around him to be active. He perseveres harder than anyone I know, and when it comes to dealing with stress, Nick can walk through anything. For that reason, he is one of the wisest people that I know, and I'm truly lucky to have him as an older brother and a role model. So I'm confident that he's going to be a great husband and father. So if everybody would raise their glass to the newlywed Nick and Nicole. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to say at this part. Chug.